Okay, everybody, I'm going to get going. Thanks all for joining us today. We just wanted to put together this presentation to let you know the different committees that y'all can become involved in. We're always trying to get new voices and fresh faces into the committees that do things around here, and wanted to just remind you and introduce you to some of the committees that you might not have known that you can be involved in. This is I think there are 5 or 6 of them we're gonna tell you about today. There is a way for the billers to get billing credit for participation in these committees. I'll talk a little more about that at the end, so that any of the non-billers can pop off. But we will be talking about that. So with no further ado, Nick, can you tell us about the marketing committee?
Sure. Thanks again for putting this presentation together and for the opportunity to speak to you all today about the MLT and all that it does. The MLT is currently comprised of 6 attorney members, and we're looking to add a few more. Members have a lot of influence on the firm's marketing and business development strategy and can really help drive growth in a variety of ways listed here. All these tasks have 2 primary goals in mind: attracting profitable clients and retaining profitable clients for the firm. Members can also join various subcommittees that are focused on different areas of our marketing, like content, RFPs, or events. This is a great way to get more involved in an area of marketing that you may be interested in. I know this year we're really focused on business development initiatives aimed at helping attorneys here identify new opportunities, cultivate existing connections, and generate new business. And the MLT will play a huge role in developing our biz dev strategy. So this is really a great time to join. Membership is open to attorneys with 5 years of experience, at least one of which was spent at Walsworth, and who have the bandwidth to dedicate about 5 hours per month to the MLT. If you meet the eligibility requirements and are interested in joining, please email a statement of interest to the Marketing Leadership Distribution Group. Please keep it to 3 paragraphs and let us know about your marketing experience here or elsewhere and how and why you want to contribute. The final selections will be made by Dee with input from members of the MLT. So we encourage you to join if you're interested. I think you can really make a difference in our marketing and the firm's growth. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick. Next, if I can move the slide. Okay, Education Committee. Apparently I need a little bit of education. So Josh, Kendra, Helen, and I are the current members of the Education Committee. Years back, Walsworth had the Results and Skills Committee that was really focused primarily on doing continuing education type stuff, CLE things. And the Education Committee has become kind of a reworking of Results and Skills. So we still have as our primary goal doing ongoing legal education through CLE stuff. Hopefully all or most, if not all of you, have been seeing Josh's great presentations he's been doing recently. We do our trial academy every few years. Those sorts of things come through the Education Committee. But we're also interested in sharing and organizing just the knowledge throughout the firm. Our staff and paralegals and attorneys here are so knowledgeable, and a lot of times people just don't know where to find stuff that's already happened. And so part of what our focus is part of this committee is sharing those sorts of tips and tricks. Last year, one of our big projects was revamping the intranet to make it more useful. Just yesterday I started looking at the various email aliases to see how do we send out a reminder of what aliases people are supposed to be using. Little small simple things. I'm setting up Kendra to do a presentation about how do you find stuff on the system because she's such a good sleuth at that. So really the idea of not only all the legal stuff that's important for people to know, but also just what are ways we can organize and share our knowledge to make the firm more productive as a whole. The education committee is open to anyone who's been here for at least a year. We ideally you'd have a bandwidth of dedicating about 3 hours or so a month to this. If you want to join all together, great. Email the education committee alias. We're going to have a meeting on February 12th that you can join in on. But also, if you just want to share an idea you've had, you don't want to commit to being a full member of the education committee, but have an idea of something that's needed to be shared, or if you want to yourself give a presentation, yes, we would love for you to. So email us about that too. If you have any questions, let me know. And there's the education committee alias that you can email anytime. Tech committee, Tyson, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. For anyone I have not met, my name is Tyson Nakagawa, and I lead the IT department. The technology committee is made up of members from different areas throughout the firm, different practice groups, different positions. So really, we can get input from everybody and how it will impact the things that you work on. But what we do in the tech committee and what you could do if you joined us is really play a key role in shaping the future of Waldsworth technology. The focus for the past several years and for the years to come is really to just continue to upgrade and modernize the technology. We have been adopting and moving towards cloud services. So a lot of exciting changes have already happened, and there's a lot more to come coming up. Other things that you would be doing is participating in vendor product demos and evaluating new initiatives. An example of that is a couple of years ago, we went to iManage Cloud. We looked at the top two competitors in the document management space, which are iManage and NetDocuments. So the technology committee got to see demos from both products, do a little bit of testing on each one, and ultimately decided to move forward with iManage. But that's an example of the demos that you would get to participate in. You'd also be a part of new deployments, early testing and previews. For example, when we adopted Microsoft Teams, the technology committee was on it for a couple of months prior to rolling it out to everybody else. They really got to get a good preview of how the system worked, anything that we would like to modify or manipulate that we thought might be better for the rest of the firm, and help make some of those decisions on the configuration on what we wanted to add or remove or things like that. So you would get to participate in those. And also help make decisions about technology policies and procedures. Maybe there are certain things that we do in tech that we want to allow for or not allow for, but you can be part of all those decisions. To give you an idea of some of the projects that we're working on for 2025, one of the big one are new hardware evaluations. We're looking at purchasing new workstations and laptops. We've got some on order right now, and the technology committee is going to get their hands on it, play with this equipment, get an idea of what it will be, and really have a say in what we move forward with. We're also looking at new case management software. We're doing evaluations right now. Case management software will really fill a nice gap that we haven't that we don't have a system in place for right now. For anyone who's familiar with the asbestos database, it will replace that, but it will really add a lot more functionality to it. An example is you'll be able to pull up reports of maybe active or closed cases and be able to see all the settlement amounts associated with that. So really just new helpful software. And also we'll be looking to clean up the file shares this year. I know it's kind of the wild, wild west out there with the file shares, and I've heard many times that like, hey, it's hard to find data in there, but we're really going to make an effort to clean that up, organize the data, and then also move it into the cloud. So the technology committee will be involved in all of that. Eligibility, we are opening up this to anybody who has been with Walsworth for a couple of years. We are asking for a couple of years because we want to make sure that you're familiar with the current technology and maybe ways that or suggestions on how to improve the current technology or identify gaps that we have with new software that we could add to help fill those gaps, and just to make sure that any new products that we are looking for is in align with the other technology that we're already using. The bandwidth to dedicate is about 1 to 2 hours per month. Realistically, it's more like 1 hour a month. We hold a monthly meeting every Tuesday. I'm sorry, the second Tuesday of every month from 3 to 4 p.m. That's typically led with a presentation by myself, and we'll talk about some of the things that IT is working on, some of the new projects, and anything that we need to take either votes on or look at demos. So about 1 to 2 hours per month. So if anybody is interested in joining the technology committee, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyson. Next, Sadaf, can you tell us about pro bono?
So the pro bono committee is currently made up of me, Sonia, and Lori. Basically, we work together to try to identify pro bono opportunities for the firm, whether that's for doing substantive legal work via clinics or taking on cases, or if it's participating in events, social events, volunteer events to benefit the organizations that we partner with who do pro bono work. So we partner with LA's Public Council, Orange County's Public Law Center, and San Francisco's Bay Area Legal Aid. And if you want to do any pro bono work with those organizations, specifically clinic work, that's all been pre-approved. But we also are always open to hearing about new pro bono opportunities outside of those organizations and those clinics. And always looking for ways to get involved and facilitate more involvement from the firm in general on pro bono. So attorneys are eligible to join the pro bono committee. Attorneys and full-time paralegals are eligible to receive credit. I know Kate is going to talk about that further. And I mean, the beauty of pro bono is that, you know, like Kate said about the education committee, if you don't want to commit to joining the committee, you can always email us with your ideas and thoughts for the type of pro bono work we can do, how we can get more involved in our communities, how we can help the firm be more involved. We're happy to hear that. And you can get involved in some of the events that we participate in, including coming up next month, Public Council's Run for Justice, which is super fun. And we have a really great team already assembled. I think the biggest team we've ever had in the history of our involvement. So it would be great to see more people participate. It's aside from being for a great cause, it's just fun to get together and see each other in person and spend a little time together outside of work. So that's it.
Thanks, Sadaf. Sonia, can you tell us about DEI and what that committee is doing?
Hi, everyone. So, you know, DEI is in a lot of news articles right now, and there's a lot of talk about things that are changing, but we've been on it and attending various meetings. And, you know, to give an example of 486, I think, out of the 500 Fortune 500 companies are keeping their DEI commitments. And the ones that are changing are based basically on quotas that were put into place in the last few years, or things that kind of mimic affirmative action, which is something that at Walsworth we've never even had to consider or think about. You know, it kind of became a woman-owned law firm naturally, and we continue to hire and grow people that are good from various backgrounds. And one of the ways we do that is just by really like listening to each other internally in our community, you know, things that are important to us, things that we value, and areas that we want to grow. And so the DEI committee is kind of formalized and like moving the goalpost along. And the DEI committee meets and we set goals for the year, things that people are interested in. There's various presentations. We try to track progress, and, you know, some of the things that we've been able to do is formalize, you know, ways to advance, ways to join committees, And so just kind of what everyone wants. And so similar to what Sadaf was saying is like, we're interested in anything you have to say, anything that you want, anything that you're interested in. Sometimes it's hard to sit in a meeting and speak up. We try to send out quarterly anonymous surveys that we really take all the feedback into consideration and apply it to our goals. If at any time you want to solicit any kind of anonymous feedback on the internet, there is a suggestion box. It is 100% anonymous. It has various areas that you can just type in what you're interested in and nothing is tracked back to you. And there's an email sent that generates whatever your comment is, and the appropriate committee will respond to it and consider it. So we highly suggest giving your suggestions and getting involved. It's open to anyone at the firm, and you can apply either by emailing me, or every quarter we'll send out a Google survey that asks if you'd like to join. And you're eligible for a credit, but it's still in the works, and Kate will tell us a little bit more about that. And then just kind of how it works overall, there's a DEI committee that meets and just kind of talks about what we want to do quarterly. And then there's subcommittees. So if there's something specific that you want to talk about, Nick is in communications, Shahira and Chelsea do holidays and events, Dee and Kirsten do mentorship and education, Sadaf and Cindy are in partnerships, and Sage is in recruiting and statistics. So share your ideas, tell us everything, come get involved, and anything that you're interested in, we're interested in.
Great, thanks, Sonia. So on the billing credits, honestly, it's a little bit in the works right now. The policy is currently being updated as to exactly how many hours of billing credit are going to be offered and what exactly that'll look like. The steering committee is talking about it at our very next meeting. So as soon as that policy is put together, we will circulate it. But the firm totally supports people getting involved and taking the time to be involved. And we all understand that it takes time away from billable hours. So there will be a generous billing credit offered for your participation in communities. Also, activity in communities committees is definitely considered when doing year-end evaluations or, reviews regarding advancement. Management totally understands that taking the time to be on a committee takes time away from what you could otherwise be billing or working on for clients. And so any activity you have is definitely considered. Don't feel like it's a strike against you if you're taking time to be on a committee. While we get the policies totally ironed out, the big priority is just track your time. So there are a few different client matter numbers that you can use to be tracking your time on RIPI currently. These exact ones may or may not change once we move to Adirant later, but WFBM is the client, and 01 is the matter number for pro bono work, 13 is for marketing, 14 is for other committees. And Gina takes a look at all of the time that's tracked into, well, all of the WFBM categories so that we can make sure that everybody's getting the credits they need. Does anybody have any specific questions about any of the committees that you want to ask now? Otherwise, of course, get in touch with us later to the extent to which you want to get involved in anything. We'd love to have you. All right. Well, I told you we'd keep it short and sweet. Just wanted to let you all know the activities you can get involved in here, and reach out to any of us if you want to start participating yourselves. Thanks so much, all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.